Good morning and welcome to the Small Business Cheerleader podcast. I'm Nicola Willis from NW Marketing, the Small Business Cheerleader, and I'm joined today by Sonja from the Search Republiq, or personal brand The Search Queen. And we're here today to talk about, well, all things search, but in particular, your story, values in business, and how and what to look out for when choosing an agency when it comes to Google Ads. How are you today? And introduce yourself and let everyone know what the Search Queen's all about.
So I started my business just almost 5 years ago, actually, and it kind of happened by accident. Purely because I worked for 3 other agencies here in Perth, but also had been in the advertising industry back in Ireland. And what I realized is that I really didn't align with the values of my employers. And one day, there was a few kind of moments whereby clients approached me and said, "Oh, will you just do your own thing?" And of course, when they say it, you take it as a compliment. You're like, "Oh, thanks, but it'll never happen," And then it wasn't until I actually was working for my last agency that I think it was just that moment working for that guy that I realized, if this guy is growing a really profitable business and he's not really doing it morally correctly, then surely I can do a better job. That is close to values as possible. And my values are trust, respect, loyalty, and integrity. So 2018, I set up my own show. I had about 10 clients approach me in the space of 1 week. So the business kind of found me by accident. And I think that was a no-brainer. If I already didn't have to set up a business as such, but like you already have clients and I could replace my income, it was kind of like, it was just a no-brainer. I had to do it. And nearly 5 years later now, we've got clients all over the country, so all over Australia. And we only work with clients that mirror values of trust, respect, loyalty, and integrity. And the reason being is that agencies I have worked for, I've been on the front line managing clients' expectations. And some clients just should have never been taken on as a client. Like they should have never been taken into that specific agency because firstly, some clients aren't ready to do paid marketing efforts. Secondly, there can be a lot of clashes of personality as well. So I think it's very important to have boundaries and know when to say no and really understand who your ideal client is and understand that you can't serve everyone. There's a select few that are going to be inspired by what you do, and that's all that matters. You don't get into business for it to be a hard slog. It is hard enough to run a business, so you want to make sure the people you work with light you up. So that is why I went out on my own, and now it's just gone strength to strength. And for me, I think within my industry, it does have a bit of a bad rap when it comes to digital marketing because there's so many people that make these false promises that Google can't even promise. So I decided I wanted to do things differently, and I wanted to demystify all these smoke and mirrors, and I wanted to deliver results ethically and truly help businesses explode online. That is my main purpose in what I do. But I feel like having a personal brand and putting my face out there, I was calling myself the Search Queen. I kind of would want to know myself. So I really feel like the formula that we have within our business really helps business owners succeed online at the highest level, and most importantly make sure that they generate a massive return on investment, that it's not just they're paying us marketing dollars but not seeing anything in return. There has to be an investment all the time that they're making back from the work that we do, so that their marketing costs pay for themselves and that they just make profit on top. That's what our goal is. So
it's 100% true, because I think SEO is the most thing that mystifies small business owners the most. I find from talking to my clients that they really don't understand firstly what it is and how it actually can have the impact in generating leads for their business and actually bringing in sales. A lot of people, you see it on local chat pages. People are like, "Oh, I can do SEO and I can do this." And you just know, and you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach that it's just going to be taken advantage of. And I have seen many, when it comes to Facebook ads, get taken advantage of in investment as opposed to return. So I think the ethics is where people are drawn to you, obviously, because that is a value you have. And similarly, I have the same thing when I work with clients. You're saying attracting people in similar journey to you or a similar alignment of values is going to allow you to have that recurring client base that want to keep working with you because they're in it for the long haul. And SEO is a long-term strategy, but a very important one.
Yeah.
So explain to me how that works when it comes to the longer-term strategy of SEO in a small business. It's not about the quick wins, it's about the return on that investment, but the quality of those leads, isn't it, when it comes to SEO?
Absolutely. And honestly, I'm glad that you've brought that up, because within our industry, as you said, like there's so many people that make these false promises, and it honestly breaks my heart, because I know it's just a sure sign that it's just going to be, they're going to end up losing money. And what I've seen also is that worse off, these clients get penalized on Google. So the quality is so important, but the strategy is where it starts. So there's two different types of strategies when it comes to SEO. You have black hat and white hat. So a lot of companies that I know in part that claim to do SEO actually don't. They have been known to outsource it to companies in India, pay them peanuts, and then charge massive markups on top. And yeah, very easy sell, but at the same time, that's going to end up hurting the client's website and their overall digital strategy. So it comes back to figuring out what the strategy is, like what is the best way to get results ethically on Google, and that is by following best practice SEO, which is known as white hat SEO. But in order to do white hat SEO, and what has become shocking to me is that so few people understand what that strategy actually is.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of on-page factors, so everything to do with your website, so whether it be keywords, content, meta descriptions, meta tags, all of those, in the links to internal pages, user journey experience. Obviously I can keep going on, but we don't have till tomorrow to list all of the deliverables. Off-page is everything to do with all the traffic coming onto your website from the links that are driving traffic. So every single website that is indexed on Google is going to have negative links attached to it. So the idea of when you do SEO is that you're constantly monitoring what kind of spam links are attaching themselves to the website in the back end, because you need to remove them at the source, otherwise they dilute your credibility. So think of it like this. Jim Rohn says you are the sum of the 5 most people you spend time with. When it comes to your website, if you have affiliations with all these different spammy links, it dilutes your credibility. So people aren't going to keep you as trustworthy as what they would if you had healthy links. So that's an analogy I like to use, because obviously Google is very, very technical and it's very hard to understand it. But one of the most important things that I have found from people I've worked with is they've missed a really important component, and that is technical SEO. So that is all the coding in the back end of your website to make sure it's conforming to the Google standards. So that is something that gets missed a lot. So if the robots.txt isn't sorted, or if the sitemap hasn't been released to Google, or like you don't have the necessary factors in place to allow the Google crawlers index the site, these are all massive challenges as to why Google is not showing your website to your ideal client. So it really comes back as a combination of on-page, off-page, and technical. But again, what I find is so many business owners that I have come in contact with throughout my experience is that they believe that they can do SEO themselves internally, and it's not like we don't think we're accountants, so we go to an accountant to do our taxes. Having SEO, and it's your like, this is what people need to understand too. Your website is like your shop front in the online environment. You promote if you opened up a shop in a street in Perth, for example, you promote and make sure that people know that you're open for business. But we have this kind of, I suppose, false assumption that you have this website that automatically people are going to find you, even if you don't optimize it. But a page of content in your mind, you may think that you're actually doing SEO, but you're not. It's a really tiny part of the puzzle, tiny part. Yeah. So then we constitute, oh yeah, I've done a page content and I've uploaded that, I'm doing my SEO myself. Like, that's not correct. No. So it's a whole host of different factors that requires specialists, like copyright.
It's true, and it's like like Facebook ads as well, and it comes down to they're specialists in every area, and we think that we can do these things in the startup phase of business that obviously there's not a lot of money going around, so it's like where do I best put my money? But I say to clients, similar to doing a press ad, it's like doing a press ad and then putting it in a drawer and wondering why people didn't view it. You spend all the time and effort to create this press ad, say an example of your website, but then nobody sees it, and they spend an entire effort, and then what happens is it doesn't work. Nothing works. Digital marketing doesn't work. Nothing's working.
And they all hate Google then. because they're like, Google doesn't even work. I'm like,
no, and they're like, oh, it's all stupid, you know, and SEO is nothing. It's just money out the door for nothing. And that's what I hear all the time. But Google done well, obviously, and you see it in the results for clients, allow you to optimize that website that you have already spent a lot of time and effort on, and allow those people to actually interact. And then once it gets more interaction, it gets more traffic, it gets bigger, and Google sees it as being viable and sees it as being optimized and open for business. Like you say, like a client, like a shop front. Absolutely. Google sees it as open for business. And I think that people really put sometimes their effort into the wrong areas when they come.
Absolutely. And they're looking for the short-term gratification rather than long-term satisfaction. And when it comes to SEO is a long-term satisfaction. It's a long game. This is why it takes up to 12 months before you see an increase on rankings. And anyone that promises you anything sooner, run for the hills, because they're lying to you, because they just want your business. Yeah, and you're not going to stick around long term being a client to that agency because you think that you're going to get results sooner when you're not. It's not possible.
And there's a strategy. There's a reason. A strategy takes time to plan and implement. And the same with Facebook ads. It's not press, go and win. It's a strategy. What works, what doesn't, how have you worked out your content, your messaging, and SEO involves all of that as well. People forget it's not just putting a meta tag on. It's actually having that entire strategy across all platforms to enable it to all work together, isn't it? Because it's a holistic whole combination.
100%. And I think that's important key takeaway to take from this conversation, as well as that, like, you know, we expect to date somebody. This is what it's perceived from my perception of people that I've met. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I do SEO, but I'm not seeing results. But I'm like, hold on a sec. You don't date somebody and then after a month expect to get married. Like, SEO is a long game. It's your foundation. It's the backbone of when you're building a house, you know, you need to have a strong foundation. SEO is that foundation. You need to have that, which is why Google Ads, it is that bit more expensive, but you can get results quicker. So from the minute you turn on your Google Ads campaign, you can see results. But you also have an ad spend plus a management fee. So it's double what SEO would be, but you just need to have more faith. So the amount of people that actually come to me and say, oh, I want to do SEO, I want to do SEO. And they believe that SEO is the first place that they need to spend their efforts. But honestly, I probably turn away about 80% of people saying you're not ready. You can't afford me right now anyway. You need to actually grow your business organically. Or if you're in a position to do Google Ads, give it 90 days and then we can generate return and then you can redirect it back into SEO. But realistically speaking, all of these things take time. But when you're in small business and you're starting out, honestly, you should be spending your efforts working on your personal brand, working on networking, getting yourself out there, making connections with people online on all your social platforms. Like, social media is a really, really good tool for business owners that can really put a lot of their effort into their organic marketing. You should not be going to, oh yeah, I'll just do Google Ads and straight away I'll get results, or do SEO and I'll get results. It's not like that. We're attached to the wrong things. If you're attached to your why and you're attached to making a difference with the problem that you solve for your end user, that's where you need to focus your efforts. It's not about how much money I can get. How much money?
100%. I've worked with clients that are just after, well, where's the leads? And the thing is, well, you haven't worked on why you're in business, what's your vision, what's your mission, who's your ideal client, and really dive deep into who that is, because ultimately that information will allow you to do either Facebook ads, Google ads. Your SEO will all be based on those things. The clearer you are, the easier it is to get those results you're after. But jumping all of those steps into the shiny things of creating either Facebook ads, Google ads, or even SEO, as you say, if you don't know who you are or who you help or how
can anybody figure out your strategy if you haven't figured out your strategy first? And that's where we fall into the trap. And this is where so many other agencies, they never say, a lot of people don't say no to taking on clients. They just take them on. They see it as a quick win and new sale, but that client's not going to stay around because they haven't figured out their strategy. So how can they communicate who they are to you for you to get the results if they haven't figured that out for themselves?
100%. And that's why we do a lot of that work with clients before they then go to that next level of Facebook ads, Google ads, creating content, website, etc. Once you've done that step of getting your strategy in place, because people forget there's marketing strategy, obviously, and the marketing tactics, and people tend to jump straight to the shiny, exciting stuff. paid ads, the things, the exciting stuff, expecting that quick win when they haven't done any of the strategy parts, because it's not sexy, is it?
No.
People are like, oh God, who's got time for that? How do you not have time for that? Absolutely. If you're willing to throw, I've seen people throw $2,000 at Facebook ads without realizing what even their business offering is.
I know.
And then really wondering why it's not working. And then those ad agents,
then they'll hold you accountable for it's not why it's
asking more. You're not spending enough. That's why it's not working. You need to double your ad spend.
Yeah.
Throwing more money after a strategy that's not working anyway is just my nemesis. And that's why we're very similar on that. Is that agency, the quick win, take the money and then blame the client when it's not working. That has to stop. It needs people to actually educate, or like you say, you're not ready yet.
Yes.
Come back when you're ready. Go see this person, that person, or do the work yourself before you come to me. And then you know that they know that you have that value set, and they will come back.
And your reputation is the most important thing in business. And
referrals will come from that.
They do. And honestly, I've worked for agencies over here in Perth, and honestly, still to this day, like, people speak really illy of these agencies, and like, your reputation sticks. You know, if you're not seen to do the right thing, like, you know, once your reputation's ruined, there's no coming back from that.
No, and the quick win was never worth it. And you never get aligned clients, and they're always the ones that go and bag you everywhere if you turn into that agency, which leads me to that question, pitfalls. What are the pitfalls when trying to choose an SEO agency or Google Ads agency? What have you seen that the red flags, if people are looking? Obviously we want them all to come to you, and there are no red flags.
Oh, honestly, I don't want everyone to come to me, but it's more like, I want to be able to people to feel aligned with what I do, and know that we're focused on long-term relationships, not like after the first few months retain it, because it doesn't, like, it ends up in a nightmare in the long run.
What are the red flags that
They're definitely, if people are making you promises, like if people say, I'm guarantee you're going to get this amount of result on SEO, we're going to increase your rankings within 3-6 months. Like, clients still to this day ask me, like, how long more do you think before we get rankings? I can't tell you this, but then I'll have a client that signs on and then they're seeing a difference within 3 months. There's no guarantees, you know. It's just, you have to have skin in the game and trust the process. But I think listening to your intuition, if the person that's selling you what it is that they believe you need, if your intuition is telling you there's something dodgy about it, it usually is. So I would do my research. I would check all the testimonials. I would check, like, all of the Google reviews. I would look at what their socials stand for, because if they really care about themselves as a brand, they would want to be giving away information for free and actually care about the greater good, rather than just taking a new client through the door. Like, there's a lot more digital footprint that should be out there before you make a decision on to spend X amount of money, especially when our industry is not regulated. So that's where I think it's different for me versus a lot of different agencies, that I've put the time and effort in wanting to educate businesses to think about, okay, these are the things that you need to be aware of. This is how long it takes, because otherwise you take clients on and they're not educated on what to expect, and then it just doesn't work out, you know. But other red flags, I think, if you have a Google Ads account already and it's been running with another agency, I'd highly recommend checking the change history, because this is a huge problem in the industry, is that there's this set and forget mentality, and you think, oh yeah, I ran Google for 3 years and I got no results, or, you know, I don't think Google's going to work for me. But then you check the change history of that Google ad account and you can see there's no changes done on the account in an entire 3-year period. Like, one of my clients that I shared recently, 3 years of Google ad spend investment at $3,000 a month, 120 grand over that 3-year period, and no work been done. That's like having a staff member or a team member that doesn't show up for work but still gets paid. Yeah, this is the reality of the situation, and it's knowing what are the things to look out for. You know, if I was to make an investment in an agency, and you're a bit on the fence, ask to speak to their top clients, hear from the horse's mouth, see what they have to say.
I think that's the thing in my head. Over the last 10 years, all I hear is SEO is just a waste of money, because they get that sense that it does sit there. And people don't know, because they're not educated enough yet to look into what to find, what is it. And that's why it's good to teach people, like you say, how it works, what is involved, so that people have more control over what it is that these agencies that they're going to are offering and what they can get from that, and then making sure that they are in control, not doing it, but in control of their ad accounts, whether that be Facebook, Google, whatever it is, having the knowledge to know what to look for. Because I think people get lost, especially in the smaller startups when they go to bigger agencies. And I find from a red flag, a lot of them have slick websites, really slick websites, but not a lot to back it up in the sense of a brand person or a sense of who they are. Just a really slick website.
Well, slick website, I call it Ferrari without an engine.
It's what it feels like. And and I've heard so many bad stories, and you go and you check and it's always a really slick website and you're like, but where's your personality? Where is the heart of this business? And there is no, it's just pure masculine energy of look at all this, how slick I am, and I can get you this and I can get you that. And they're the clients that usually have come to me later on really burnt out, and we go back and try and figure out how to get them started again and on their way in their branding, because that is hard work, trying to find out who to trust in this world of especially SEO. Because
and I'm not to say that I'm the only person you should trust, because I do think that there are definitely agencies out there that have been born from working for some of these cowboy agencies as well. And I do think there's a lot of people out there that the intent would be similar to mine. I believe though that it's important that you align with somebody that you can work with, that your values align and that you kind of can work with them as a team, not I'm a client and I pay you money. Because I've actually I've let go of clients that are spending $5,000 a month, more so because they're actually wasting my time and I didn't actually enjoy. They didn't light me up. So we take most clients on a trial basis. And to me, I'm like, well, if clients and myself, if we're not on the same page, it's never going to work. So if you're looking for the best piece of advice, make sure you can actually find someone that you feel you can work with.
That's 100%. I've done the same with project contracts that have come my way from clients I've worked with in the past that were just drama the whole time. It saps your energy, your team's energy, time in particular. You may as well open yourself up for other projects and opportunities that will come your way. It's the biggest learning curve I've had over the last, say, 5 to 10 years.
Don't chase the dollar. It's more about looking at the relationship and the time.
It kicks you in the ass in the end.
That's you don't want a client to be talking down to you either. You want to be like, okay, you pay me money, but I'm actually about to transform your business, so there has to be a level of respect.
I'm finding that the collaboration, the partnership aspect of business is coming together a lot more now, that clients and agencies or contractors are very much wanting a partnership as opposed to that hierarchical level of nothing, I know it all. It's about educating your client to build them up so they feel confident enough to work with you, but then they work alongside you. And I think that's where the change is coming, and those agencies that might have had that level before are no longer having that opportunity because people are wanting and are educating themselves.
100%. And I think it's very important as well to be very upfront with clients about what the expectations, what to expect in the first month. This is how we work. This is making sure that we're all on the same page, that we're like, okay, this is what to expect. This is how we work. And if, you can email me, but it's probably better that we discuss these things in meetings, and then there's no time being wasted, because time is the best resource that we have.
Up front, exactly, with boundaries and expectations, I think are also something that people are now willing to do instead of the working 24-hour model of just constantly being available. I think these boundaries set from the beginning allow both of you to understand where you sit, and I think that is the best change I've seen come about, instead of that constantly always on call where people expect you to always be there, and then that allows just dissatisfaction on both sides. And
absolutely,
so I want to, when we're talking about educating the clients to a level where they're ready for Google Ads, share the new offer that you've got available with the SEO on fire, because I think that's something that is a game changer in the industry for small business, or obviously medium to small businesses that want to explore it. So explain how this works, because this is a new offer from you.
Well, when SEO on fire, it's an audit, and we have it at 2 different tiers. Now, a lot of people come to me, and as I said to you, 80% of those people I actually send away because I just can't help them because of where they sit budget-wise. And I purely base that on what their revenue is per month before I can be like, okay, I'm not comfortable taking X amount of money because based on what you're earning. So that's where I'd say I don't think it's the right time now. However, the audit, I developed that purely because it can actually help smaller businesses tap into what they need to do from an SEO standpoint, but without committing to an agency straight off the bat, whether they do all the implementation with me or not, or any other agency. At least they have a bit of a bird's eye view about what's happening and what the obstacles are before they can actually be found by their ideal client. So it gives them a bit of a roadmap. And the thing is, with this audit, every single client that we take on as a new client for SEO, we always start with an audit. So it's something that we've been doing since the beginning of time, but now we've taken it as a standalone product. So then if people have been burnt before by other agencies, they can actually come to us, see as a snapshot what needs to be done, and then make a decision whether they want to commit to doing SEO long-term with us or not. Mm-hmm. If they do decide to do SEO with us and they have the budget for it, then the price that they pay of the audit comes off the first month's retainer. So it's a win-win for everyone,
Yeah.
But it's a game changer though. It really is.
Yeah, and it gives that indication, isn't it, that education as well of these are the factors to look out for. And yes, this is what is actually impacting your ability to, bring in new leads and business, because of these factors.
Absolutely.
Then it's in your hands, as in the client's hands, as to what they do with that information. Yeah, I mean, they might be of a ilk that they want to try it themselves, but then they'll also understand the work that goes in addressing all of those.
Is not SEO.
Yeah, and I think that's where the point of an audit is fantastic, because people then do realize the amount of work that you guys do as part of your retainers. And I think that is where audits are a wonderful intro into that world. And I think the SEO on Fire is fantastic for that. And also allowing them into the world, because like you say, I mean, you don't actually, take everyone on, but you want to make sure that there are the opportunities there for them to learn and to enter into their world, put a toe into it so they can start exploring what that looks like, even if it is a year or so away from where they are.
You just need to take the first step, and SEO may not be right for them right now, but who's to say, it may be right for them in the next few months, but at least they know and they have an idea about what's involved to actually justify the time and effort of the actual spend it takes to rectify all these issues. Because it's not just an SEO expert that you need an expert copywriter and a web developer to implement everything that you need to do in order to satisfy what Google is looking for. And I think that the more that we can understand that Google is the marketplace in the world, anyone who is and ever will be your customer is on Google, and they're very, very far down the funnel and are ready to buy when they try and search for you on Google, whereas they're not. They already know that they have a problem needing solving. So of course that comes with you having to overcome a lot of those hurdles to be presented in front of your ideal client,
Yeah, and that clarity again on knowing what it is you offer and the problem you solve, and making sure those meta tags and things are actually addressing those. And that I know from the copywriter when I did my website, the amount of effort that comes into producing those as well, and making sure that they are correct and they are hitting a pain point. That really surprised me, that effort of what actually does show up in the search. And I say to clients, Google may be more expensive in advertising spend per click, but you're getting people who are already searching. So that alone is where that cost difference is. And if you can get to that pain point solution quicker, then obviously the conversion rate for that will be a lot better for you. So definitely when it comes to copywriting and all of the back end stuff, it's a whole game changer when you get it right. And I think the more you have an understanding of what's wrong currently with where you're at, the more you have the option to go and explore what changing that looks like. Now, where can people find you? So if this, obviously they might want to explore SEO on Fire or just find the value drops that you have online. So where's the best place for them to
I do show up on the gram quite a lot. So Sonja The Search Queen is my personal brand, and then the business is the_search_republiq. So I'm there. My team manages the Search Republiq. I manage the Sonja The Search Queen account myself, but a lot of value there. I also have a free Google training on my link in bio as well. If you go link in bio on both the Search Republiq and Sonja The Search Queen, you can find all my links to SEO on Fire as well. And feel free to send me a DM if I can help you in any way. I'm more than happy to do so. I just want to make sure that you don't end up in the wrong hands, you don't get ripped off, because I've seen that happen far too often, trust me. Whether it's with me or anyone else, I just think it, like, it's corporate theft, what people get away with here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's obviously due to a lack of education in that space for quite a while. So I think that the more you can jump on, people can jump on your socials and check that out and see the free downloads and just see what's out there. I think it's a wonderful opportunity.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
It's an opportunity and gives you more power in the decisions you're making, and you're not being taken for a ride, which we both don't want to see. Now, I'll put all of those links in the show notes so everyone can find you easily. And I wanted to say thank you, because you're an absolute powerhouse in this sector. So to be able to talk to you today has been amazing. And everyone go and check it out, because SEO will be a game changer the more you know and the more you explore. And the higher you can get that revenue, the more you can do the Google ads, and then the bigger it gets. So it is all a snowball effect, but you need to start. So if you can do that from after listening to this, then we'll be both happy. And it's been awesome to speak to you. And
you too, my love. And thank you so much for your time. I totally resonate, and like, I think we're very much aligned with our values and how we think, and the pitfalls that we've seen in the industry. And we both just want to, you know, make it better than what it is, you know, and it definitely comes through education. So I really, really value our connection as well, Nicola. I think you're an absolute powerhouse in what you do too. So
thank you.
Like, honestly, it's an honor to be on here. So thank you very much for your time.
No worries. And everyone go follow Sonja on the socials and website, and you could Google her as well if you really feel. And thanks so much. See you next time.
My pleasure.
Bye.